It should work with other types of ships, sorry about that. Let's move on to the next thing. The stuff with satellites, alright, so I used the cheats package to explore all sectors and install satellites in there. So now you can see what I meant. Power Circle has some solar power plants, so we've got advanced satellites.
There we go, that's the display monitor. And you should
see, it's not, oh fuck.
Yeah, but you need, I think you need software for that to see.
Really? What type of software?
I've done it, man. God. That's like 1.5 years ago, I don't recall.
Alright, well, someone that might be watching these vids and does know, please comment so you can teach us all. Alright, anyway, as you can see, I don't have any ships aside from the satellite in this sector yet. I will still be able to, let's say, the solar plant XL to see what it's got in stock.
Yo, lab, stop typing, man. Good grief.
And this will also mean that our automated traders will be able to tell.
You know, I'm typing really, really slowly right now, just to make Bucketsmith has heard me type before at my usual speed, and it just sounds like I'm busy with an MJ.
It sounds like a MG42 machine gun.
Something like that.
Can we increase the level of the... I don't think we can. No, we can't increase the level of the trader, but... Oh wait, it's right there. There we go.
What, killed by you?
So now it is a level... What the... Oh no, wait, we did it with the Poopsmith. Now it's a level... What the hell? Hang on, I need to... I need to fix this. Custom, cheat menu, just to be sure.
Did you just break the Poopsmith?
Might have. Increase it. Crap. And the Poopsmith should now be... Well, it's not displaying correctly, but it should be a high level Universe Trader. And it is, because this option is no longer... this option is no longer grayed out. So once we start a Universe Trader, it will be actually not only going through this single sector, but going through all the sector that we have. Let me zoom out there. That we have satellites in, which is basically all sectors except the Cock and Xenon sectors where they've blown up our satellites. So for instance,
it's got the red light sector.
Well,
what?
In a
Do
way.
they?
Yeah, there's a sector called red light somewhere at the left.
There is actually.
It's the red light district.
Somewhere to the left.
It's not called because of the because of prostitutes. It's called that way because of the red haze that fills the void of space there.
Center left, you see it right now. Underneath Ringo Moon.
I must be blind.
You are.
Ringo's Moon. Where is Ringo's Moon? Oh, there we go.
Very
Totally on the left.
Yeah.
That's not center left. Idiot. Haha.
Yeah, well, yes, it was at the left in the center.
Alright, anyway.
Yes, so we've covered the advanced satellite stuff. Check out here. Ooh, that's nice. Funny. Yeah. Good. Yeah. This also means that if we go to Legends Home, which might be a bit of a spoiler, we've got the OTAS HQ in a shipyard, and that means we can trade and buy ships from that faction.
As soon as they like us.
as soon as they like us. Yeah, we need to be an Argon confirmed friend for this type of ship.
Your notoriety.
OTAS is the Arden Trade Union.
Nope. OTAS is a military faction. I'm not exactly sure on the background of that specific faction, but they're if you do the missions for them, they're mostly military convoy missions. They're high on tech though. Their ships are usually the best of its kind. Not always.
Man,
Right.
seeing you play this makes me want to play it again.
I know, I have that effect on people. Alright, so next thing shall be building a factory. For that, we will create a TL ship. Create a ship. Which is the station carrying ship. And we're gonna go with a elephant, just because I like it. I like elephants.
Yes.
Elephant available.
It's really, really, really freaking huge. These are the biggest ships in the game.
Reminds me a bit of Darth Vader's Star Destroyer.
Well, it's not as well armed as that one, but look at the size.
Yeah, and this is compared to this freighter. If you've
We're
watched
quite far away
the
from it still.
yeah,
That little three-way thing you see on the side there, by the way, you saw on the side just now. If you would move the camera a little bit, that is an actual bay where you can
there.
park. Yeah, where you can park small fighters. Those three things there at the top right now.
Yep.
Those little blinds. If you were to take your Discoverer, you could land inside this ship. This is how big it is, and this is one of the smaller ones actually for delivering station containers.
Yes, but it is a fast one. So if you're gonna
Yes,
do
it's
missions
very
where you have to play stations, I can
This is the
recommend
best
this one.
Yeah, I know.
Doc,
I use
ads.
this all the time. And I had a sister ship for this thing eventually from all the money that I made to actually protect it. Split have also a nice frigate called the Tiger. Was it the Tiger?
I think it is, and the Tiger is fucking awesome. It's a M7 if I recall correctly.
Yep.
But it's like, man, it's death. It's way faster than an M2, and it's got the same armament as a M2. The Split have awesome weaponry.
It has the size of a destroyer, but it is absolutely armed to the teeth. And that's also its main drawback, because it doesn't have that much shield power, but it doesn't have to have that, because anything that comes close just gets blasted. If you arm it right, of course.
Here we go.
Here comes the Discoverer with quite some speed there.
Yeah, we've got Zeta on as well. Oh, there's actually a bay on the hangar bay
that's
on
the
the
bay on the
bottom.
bottom.
Wait, this is one of our ships as well?
Yeah, we just
Yeah,
spawned
that's
it.
the big one.
No aim.
So now we've got a
Jesus.
fighter set on it.
This is even bigger than that elephant you just... Or the,
This
Oh,
is the elephant. If I would place the
Holy
Discoverer next to
fucking
my freighter, it would be like... I think the Discoverer is as big as one of these cargo segments.
Yeah, about.
Because you might actually think this is the cockpit, but it isn't. This little part on the back is the cockpit. The cockpit.
Cock.
I'm sorry, I just had to do that.
This game has a lot of cock in it.
Yeah,
But
they
the
actually
elephant is
made a
very,
bug in the camera position on this ship. Because they did place the first-person camera right in the middle of this, but it's wrong. Skill-wise, it's wrong. If you have the cockpit mod, it should correct that problem. Anyways, yeah, so we've got our elephant. Let's put on the info there. It's probably going to be a very long episode, by the way. I think we've been running for
look at, but as a comparison, look at the shields on the elephant.
Yes. And this is even not its maximum, I think. Or is it?
200
No, it is.
megajoule shields. If you consider that most ships that we can fly at the beginning of the game have maximum of 25 megajoule shields, you can imagine the amount of shields you get on the bigger ships being almost impenetrable for smaller ships.
Yeah. So it's got a cargo bay of 34,000 units. Station containers, which is one step larger than extra large. It even has a incredibly high hangar space, 14 ships. You could set this up as a miniature carrier.
You can park a small fleet in there.
Yeah.
Also, the station containers capacity of this ship is unique in that sense that you can put two small stations in easily, and that is fairly difficult with the standard version of the other station container carriers, if I recall correctly. Or you're gonna pay a very big price for it if you can.
It also has a decent seat for a ship this size.
Yeah, it does.
The
Which makes it pretty dangerous to fly, by the way.
I think the Boron TL has a lot of space. You could fit two medium-sized stations in there.
Yes, but the Boron TL is about 3 times the price of this one, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, I think so. There's variance in the pricing as well. But it's a pretty big ship. So you wouldn't be able to use this for mass trading. It wouldn't be cost effective anyway. But it can dock at stations except for shipyards and equipment docks, and that's it, I believe. Maybe some big Terran stations.
It can only dock at the stations that provide equipment for ships and shipyards. That's the only thing it can dock at. It's too big. Also, nice thing to note: if you turn the Mercury, it immediately turns. If you turn the Elephant, well, you can pretty much guess what happens. If you head for an asteroid with one of those bigger ships, you better have your full shields on, because you're going to crash into it. You're not going to be able to evade it as easily. Look at this.
So this is, I'll just zoom in here.
This is zoomed out almost like 3-4 kilometers. Freaking huge, but beautiful.
It's pretty slow to turn around. These type of ships and the bigger ones, the capital ships, you don't generally fly yourselves because it's just too frigging slow. Let's see what happens when we ram our own ship. Oh, whoops. I couldn't even react to that. Goodbye, freighter.
Oh.
Now I need to go into my Discoverer, which we can do by landed ships on our own ship. Advanced, change ships. There we go. We poop out the back.
And we're in the bay. Woohoo!
And this is actually one of the side bays, so I don't know exactly how they do that. You get in the back and then you shoot out the middle part.
I think there's a ship transporter belt somewhere in there.
Might be.
So the Elephant can be used as some sort of mobile HQ.
No.
Yes.
I wouldn't use TLs as mobile HQs.
But you could.
Yeah, but I don't have a lot of...
I don't recommend it.
No. You would be better off getting a carrier for that, or splitting all the jobs.
Actually, in my longest game in the Terran Conflict, I did that. And as I said, I needed a second ship to protect this one.
Well, you would be better off getting a Panther and or a Tiger. Because if I recall correctly, the Panther has a hangar bay of around, 50? That's shit lots. And it's an M7, so it will cost a lot less than a carrier. And it's pretty fast as well. And
you can provide, you can fill that one with automated fighters or something?
You can if you have the correct software. We'll cover all the software when we get to the part with mods and scripts, because I feel there's quite a bunch of scripts that are pretty much essential, but they do change stuff around.
Game.
Yeah, not that the vanilla game is horrible or unplayable, but there's just so much micromanagement that's just more fun to have on autopilot. And one of those things is there's a couple of very cool different carrier software packages that you can set up entirely per carrier, and then they just automate the whole carrier procedure on its own. So if you have a full size carrier with like 60 ships in there, 60 fighters, you can have it set on a patrol, and some of the software packages even let you put waypoints on per patrol, so you can have like 5 different patrols going on, or in case you're nearby a hostile sector and you want to protect one of your own stations with one of those carriers, you can have it set up so it will launch all 60 fighters or just a percentage of that once a enemy gets close to your station. And it can be pretty taxing on your rig, by the way, to have 60 fighters run off from a carrier.
Well,
on a second note,
pretty awesome site.
Yes, it is. On a second note, that's also why I still recommend the bounce script, which I've mentioned earlier, because when 60 fighters try to fly information with the autopilot, you've noticed this before when I tried to dock at one of the stations in the sector, ships will crash into each other. There are some fixes for this, which includes the bounce script. Anyways, I was going to add a station. Here we go. Add station 2TL. Normally you dock it at a shipyard and then buy a station. Not all shipyards sell the same stations. And again, in a couple of stations, there are races. There's difference between which stations they have at all. Like Argons have space fuel and Agnu Beef and Kahuna, I believe. And then Paranets wouldn't have those, but they would have different ones. Same goes for weapons. All races have specific weapons, but you can mount most of them on most ships. And even if you have a Argon... Oh, fuck. I forgot what the shit was. Not the complex hubs. If you have a crystal fab, for instance, there will be difference in the way they make profit between an Argon one and let's say a Teladi one, because a crystal fab needs resources and oh crap. Freight. Where is it? Oh, well, it needs energy cells, silicon wafers, and meat steak kahunas. So the Argon one will use meat steak kahunas, but the Teladi one will use the different kind of organic resource, which will have its own price.
Wasn't that the one with the like the seaweed-like kind of food? Well,
yeah.
They have all kinds of food.
I think so.
Depending on the race, yeah.
And if we're going for a solar power plant loop or closed complex of systems, if I recall correctly, the Teladi one is the best one, because the resources that you have to buy for the crystal fab for those is the cheapest.
You might want to explain that. Complexes and stations, they're two whole different ball games.
Yeah, that's true. We are talking about stations at the moment. This is the part that we're about to handle, about to build a factory or a station. And complexes are a complex of linked stations or factories. So we'll get to that after we have this step done. But it's you can have an unlimited amount of stations connected to each other, so you don't have to run ships in between them. But it's very... What the hell is happening here? Just a sec.
Enhancement goggles not installed.
I can't top for some reason.
Video enhancement gone.
Gee, thanks for that, lad.
Sorry.
Oh, you actually, no, you might see it in the video or you might not, I'm not sure.
I doubt you see it in the vid, since...
Oh, there might be a black part in the video, I'm not sure. Anyways, no biggie, it's just on my screen probably. Doesn't matter. Anyways, where was I? The station... Oh, wait, you're going?
Not now, but soonish. Feel free to proceed, but I'm about to collapse.
Alright, well, I'm gonna say goodbye anyway. Goodbye! Thanks for staying here and being our jester. And
Well, yeah.
complexes, that's where I was. So, sorry about that, guys. Complexes are those linked factories, but as I said, there's no limit as to how many you can link together, but your FPS will drop by a lot if you connect like 50 of them. You don't want that. There are scripts, which we will handle in another episode, which combine factories into one giant block, or remove the tubing in between to drop FPS. There's a couple of solutions to that to keep your performance.
I do suggest to make that script and modifications episode the next one, since over the last couple of episodes we've been referring to it anyway, so...
Yep, I know. I did plan on making it the next one.
Oh, cool.
Right, so we've got a TL here. We're gonna order it. To order a command console and then, what's it, special drop station. We only have the Crystal Fab L here. Now we've got our sector map. It's a little bit different. We can, if I can... Oh, fuck. I'm gonna give that another try. For some reason it didn't move it around like I wanted to. I probably have to use the numpad and not the actual arrow keys.
Yeah. You actually dumped the station in the middle of the sector now, but that's fine.
Yeah, people are gonna run into it. You can actually see it in the bottom right corner here, but... cheat menu...
Nice place, man.
Thank you. Actually...
Anyway, this is the way to not drop the station.
No, you don't want to do that like that.
But, well...
This was a crystal fab, so we're gonna place a solar power plant next to it. So we can show you...
generate some interest.
Alright, so, command console, go to special, drop station, select the station you want to drop, and then let's check. There we go, it's the numpad. Alright, so hit the keys on your numpad, make sure numlock is on.
You can also alter the heights, but
yes,
we'll get to that. This is basically the north, south, east, west placement of the thing in the sector. And
if you hit insert, you can select the height.
Exactly. You can actually see it come by in the screen. You're moving it around.
We can actually move it around here. Oh, there we go.
There
Hello!
Hello,
it's not actually placed yet at the moment. So this is why we can move it around.
Sort of ghosty there.
Place it in front of one of the portals so people can
you can really make a nice clipping problem for your other ships.
If you place it in front of a portal, you're gonna lose your money because it will be crashing, or well, ships will be crashing into it and you lose its shields.
And there's also a way to practice this, and that's if you have a TL and you have some money, there are missions in the game. I think you might have already mentioned that, Bucketsmith. I'm not sure. But there are missions to build stations, and they use beacons, and you have to be in a certain radius near the beacon to place a station. So you would be using the interface as shown here to be as close to the beacon as possible when placing the station.
It's a bit tedious placing stations, definitely if you want to build a complex. But again, there are a couple of scripts which are basically mods which will simplify your station building procedures. So you won't have all this tedious, precise movement stuff going on. It can get pretty frustrating getting it right. Especially if you manage to fuck it up like I did with the first station. Alright, so we're building it. You'll get this little cutscene. There we go, over station. It's right next to the previous station that we built.
Oh, look at the pretty crystals at the bottom.
Yep, those are... aren't those the energy cells?
Really, I don't know. They look like crystals to me.
They might be.
Well,
Anyways, here's our solar
artwork
power
is nice
plant.
in this game.
Crystal fab in the
Great.
back. Now we've got it set up, but we've got to head to the adjust station parameters. Trading system extension is not installed on our current
Not
ship.
in the Discovery. Yeah. Or oh yeah, of course. No, you're right.
The ship which had it installed crashed into the elephant.
No,
Possibly.
we crashed the elephant into that ship.
I'm
Alright, so here we go.
just gonna get a drink. I'll be right.
Either way, it's destroyed.
So this is this differs from the regular trading menu in a sense of this is where you set up your own factories. We've got our this will note the average credits that the energy cells goes for, and if you use again our arrow keys or our mouse, whatever, it functions in the same way. We can set the amount that we'll sell our products for and buy our resources for. The number in between the brackets is the cheapest that it will find within the area of jumps that you can set. So if I select the maximum jumps 9 here. Alright, so this is where you set the maximum jumps. Let's put it on whatever, 31. How about maximum? 50 jumps. So that means 50 sectors away. And it's still 13. Alright, whatever. Apparently there's no solar power plant with 12 at the moment. It will say 13 is the cheapest it can get it at, and the jumps that it can get it at is 0. So that means there's a solar power plant in this sector or some other factory where it can get solar energy cells. Anyways, this is a product, we want to sell it.
I think it would be the trading station in the middle that might have energy cells on sale.
Then it would probably be full on energy cells, otherwise it would be selling them for 16. Anyways,
Could be.
yeah. The general idea for this is to make it automated and not have a lot of micromanagement, is to set the price for your products one lower than average. That way the AI will come and buy it, and set your resource buying price 1 credit above average, so that the AI will come and sell it to you. You will also need money in the station if you want the station to buy stuff. So we're gonna add, we've got 20 million. Let's add, well, that's fine, 3.2 million. Other races can trade with the station, and in this case, other races mean anything but your own ships. It's a bit daft, but the game counts you and your assets as a race. It's just a technical thing, so you'll just have to move around the terms used in the game. Alright, it's set up now. And
Now we wait.
gradually, if traders will come and sell their crystals to the solar power plant, the solar power plant will be generating energy cells. And if we do the same with our crystal fab, so this one is selling crystal fabs, crystals, and it will buy energy cells and silicon wafers and Misa kahunas, and it's got 5 million in the pocket.
Funds transferred.
And this is maximum as well. There we go. It will create a little 1-2 action for traders to go in between. Your automated traders are able to use your own stations if they think they can manage to gain profit on them.
Also,
Okay, and on the topic of losing, I'm about to lose my conscience, so see you all, and I'll be joining you next time.
Good night.
good
See
night,
ya.
lad.
And have fun with the rest of the episode. Maybe
It's
we
not gonna
should
be
make
very
this
long,
some
I
sort
guess.
of web stream sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
might be
wanted
better.
to note something about the energy cells. Basically, the entire game has a serious lack of energy cells.
Yeah.
There's never going to be enough energy cells to satisfy all needs. The game does actually spawn a small amount of energy cells or stations or whatever, if I recall correctly, to remedy this, but it's you really have to stimulate the economy yourself to get things going again.
Yeah.
User disconnected from your channel.
The solar power plants are actually the only factory that if you place them next to other solar power plants that aren't yours, to still be competitive, just because of the extremely high demand of energy cells. If you would do it, if you for instance would place another space fuel distillery next to these two, you would have to compete against these two very hard. So you would be better off placing your space fuel distillery on a different sector. I think it's like 2 or 3 sectors away from this sector. Then it will start to generate more money. But solar power plants don't have that issue. Alright, so we've got...
I had a space fuel distillery in one of the neutral sectors near the what are they called? The Yaki. And that worked really well.
Yeah.
It was hidden in the asteroid fields.
We just got a promotion, by the way, because our automated trader is making money for us. So let's
Cool.
let's have a little checkup on that. It's the the Eclipse still doesn't work. We'll just forget about that one. The Poopsmith. Check the info.
Smith is doing it.
Oh right, it's level 25 already because we cheated that. But no
I
biggie.
think we should rename the elephant
To what?
Large Dung.
Alright.
Oh, we have the poop stuff. We might as well, make it a theme.
Alright. So what are we gonna call our discovery then? Discover.
Little turd. I don't know.
Splurred. I like that.
Little splurt. Yeah, cool.
I'm gonna forget about the Eclipse. You can even rename your stations, by the way.
Yes, you can.
Damn it, there we go.
Max Pleasure Palace,
There we go.
where the energy to old pleasure toys is free.
Yes, that is something I'm willing to share. Alright, so I think we've
LOL.
covered factories now.
I think we did.
Well, there's
And-
one thing I should mention, but I totally do not have experience with, is automated, well, not automated traders in the sense of a universe trader, but you can have ships set up to gather resources for a station. So
Yep,
you set it as
I
a
did
home
that.
base, and have a freighter, or have the same freighter, sell its products to make even more
Yep.
profit than you would regularly.
It's a variant to the universe trader in a sense. Only you actually link the ship to have a home base and tell it to do something for the home base. That's the only thing. It's not very difficult to set up. It doesn't always work very well, but I used it to gather energy cells for my self-sufficient complex in the Yaki space that I told you about just now.
Right.
It worked relatively well because you do lose ships, so you should never invest in the expensive ones, but they do work.
Alright. So.
And I think, yeah, okay, but never mind.
Oh no, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I think I used 1 or 2 ships also to sell from a station, but that doesn't work very well because they really go through enemy sectors as well with your wares that you have painfully produced, like microchips, and you can lose a lot of money if you do that. So for buying energy cells, it's alright, but for selling your goods, I would not recommend it.
That's going on vanilla, by the way. There are scripts that let you blacklist sectors.
Of course, yeah, I know. But on vanilla, yeah, don't go there.
Yeah,
maybe.
You're better off having the AI buy and sell from you, and at most have, like Cucumber said, have a ship buy resources for the station, but never sell your products. In fact, there's a neat little trick you could do. You could have a station of yours build products and then produce products, and then have the AI buy them off you. And as soon as the AI comes out, you could board them, you could shoot them, make them bail, or just blow them up, and it will most of the time drop the products they just bought off your station, and you can put them back so others can buy the same product for twice the money. I would recommend doing this in some space of a race that you don't like, because you will make enemies that way.
Yeah, I think something similar happened in my Yaki neutral space area, where there were some factions fighting each other near my station because they tried to buy stuff off me, and they both wanted it, and they started attacking each other. The only thing I had to do is bring in the 3rd ship and pick up the pieces and bring them back to my station, and it would start over.
Yeah, that's some nifty money making. So if you're clever in this game, you'll be easily making money. You just have to keep your eyes open. Right.
By the way, your station isn't doing too well yet, but that may take some time.
No, yeah, it takes quite a lot of time before the AI, the system behind it, which is called God, actually. I forgot what the acronym stands for, but it is called God. Before it redirects traders towards your stations. It takes a while. So, that's station setup. Now, we are going to link these two to make a chained factory, or a complex, as we call it. Large dung. We're gonna... yeah, just sounds silly saying it. We're gonna add a station to the large dung.
Yeah.
A specific type of station, which is the... where is the complex... I forgot. Is it the complex hub or the construction kit? No, it's the construction kit.
Both.
Oh, we need both. That's right.
I think we do.
So
but they can fit both into the ship, so there's no problem.
We need one of those. No, we're probably gonna need 2 of those. One to link the 2 stations, and then to the hub.
The hub is basically a big port where you can park multiple ships. It's like one of those parking spaces in the normal stations, only it has more capacity, if I recall correctly.
Yep.
And it can link with the construction kits two stations or more together.
Yeah.
So it's sort of the glue and the the stick.
Yep. So we've got a complex construction kit. We've went into the same menu again in case you've missed it. It's still in the same special command software suite than drop station. We're gonna select the construction kit. Now we're gonna select our first station, which is the Pleasure Palace. Then the second station, which is the Crystal Fab. and it will be connected. As you might see now, my screen has locked up. Oh, there we go.
And how will it connect?
It hasn't connected. Why is it not connected?
That's probably because you need a hub to start out, if I recall correctly.
It's been a while, so that might actually be the case.
Yeah, I think you need the hub first, and then you can link them up through the hub.
It's still got 2 construction kits, so that might be
yeah,
be the
it's
problem.
probably built because of that. But that's no biggie. And there is a bit of a problem, and that's the fact that these stations are so far outside of each other's reach. But
yeah, they're pretty far off, but from the distance I was at, I thought they were pretty next to each other.
If you want to build a station complex, you want to build the stations as close as possible to each other, but not too much, because obviously they'll chafe and destroy each other.
Oh, there we go. This is it. So you have to get a hub, indeed. Then you can select the 2 stations that you want to connect to each other.
Yeah.
And then you can select where you want the hub to be at. So I'm gonna drop it just below both stations.
Right, this will work.
There it goes. Now it builds the hub. And it made the tubing.
As you can see,
tubing looks pretty retarded right now.
Complex hub.
That has everything to do with the fact that it's so far out of each other's reach, and as you can see, that it has a special landing foot there. You can see the foot just now in the back. These little claws here, you see, you can dock like a gazillion ships there. It's like 20 ships or something.
Yeah, most factories only have, let's go back to that view.
4 or 5, I think.
Well, most factories only have 1 of these clamps, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ships able to dock at it, and the hub has a set of 4 of those clamps. Alright, so
that also makes it possible for a lot of ships to use your station, which is good, because that means that the flow of cash and the flow of products, both in and out, is easily tripled or even quadrupled.
Yes.
And you need it because these things can get pretty big. This is a two module station, a 2 module complex, but you can get like 30 to 40 to 50 modules in one complex easily.
As long as your FPS is still manageable, which is frames per second, you know. It can drop drastically. Anyways, I figured out what the construction kits are for. If I wanted to add a 3rd station to this, I will need the station plus a construction kit. That's it. That's how it works.
Yeah, this construction kit is basically the drop of glue you use to stick it to whatever else is there.
Yeah, so you start out when you want to make a complex with 2 stations, you drop them next to each other. And this is where those scripts come in handy, because aligning 2 stations or more perfectly next to each other so that the tubing will go in a manageable way is really fucking hard. Yeah. So, anyways, you drop the 2 stations, use the hub on those 2 stations, and then whatever station you want to add to that, you use a construction kit.
I need to know something else. Because of the complexity of complexes and everything you can do with them, there are some very nice little spreadsheet-like programs on the internet that actually allow you to calculate how many station modules you need for a certain combination. Because obviously you can make some really interesting optimization choices that will even allow you, in some cases, to build complexes that are almost self-sufficient, or even self-sufficient.
Yep. In fact, there are a lot of closed-loop complexes that have you selling intermediate resources or products because you're making more of those than your end product. But anyways, those programs do cover a lot of information. They cover the total cost of setting everything up and all the shit that Tiny said. most also mention the return on investment. That's the time on which it will start generating profit. So when it has paid off the startup costs to the moment, or that's the moment when it will start generating pure profit. One thing I managed to neglect on factories is actually that when you build your first factory, or a single factory, or even your first complex, but usually you'll just start out with one factory, make sure, and this is why our stations aren't actually running yet, make sure you have enough resources to get it started. You don't have to fill the entire hole, but if you've got like 500 crystals to pump into your solar power plant and the meat-stake kahunas, which, I don't know, let's say half of all the resources, it will start making energy cells, and for whatever reason, the God engine behind it, the economic part, will see your station faster if you are selling products. So if you drop resources in it at the start, it'll start producing. Then the system will say, hey, it's got items to sell. Well, wait, it's also got resources that it wants to buy. So that way it will start up faster than if you would leave it like we've done now. Right, so we're gonna check our station parameters for our complex hub right now. And you can see it's got a well, we've done something silly here. We've made a closed loop, or almost, for energy cells and crystals, because the crystal fab needs energy cells to run, amongst other things, and makes crystals, and the solar power plant needs crystals to run, amongst other things, and makes energy cells. So this is why you don't see a tab with product here, but you can sell these if you want. If you set the price higher than average, you won't sell them. So if I set the crystals higher than average, the AI won't bother to buy them unless demand is incredibly high in the nearby sectors. But it will use those crystals to make energy cells instead. These type of closed solar power plant loops are the basic thing you build first before having giant complexes, because you will need a lot of energy to build and maintain these complexes, and if you have a closed loop system with crystal fabs, the mines for the crystal fabs, and the solar power plants, you won't have to pump in resources for that bit. Alright, so here we can set up our stuff. So now the only resources, the solar power plant had crystals as its resources, but that has shifted now, as it was a product of the crystal fab. The only resources we need for this complex are now silicon wafers, which come from those silicon mines, and meat-stake kahunas. We can set the prices here, which it took over from the loose stations. It combined the credits that it has, and it's all the same. Oh yeah, well, here we go. Here's the immediate product trading. So this means that in case we added another plant that needs energy cells, and we would have more energy cells than that plant would use, we can sell off those. Or if we happen to have a plant that uses more energy cells than our closed loop system here provides, we can set it to buy more energy cells. We can also manage to have a combination of that. I'm not exactly sure how efficient this would be, because you would need to set a price lower than average to buy, but higher than average to sell efficiently. No, wait, other way around. Alright, so that's that. We've covered complexes now as well. This has been the trading in short. I know it's a pretty long episode. I think we've been recording for, what now, 3 hours? Probably have.
I think so, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, this is the reason why it took so long before we uploaded the part about trading, because there's just so much to go by. And we haven't even gone in depth yet. We haven't even talked about what are great combinations of factories, what are great ships to use as traders. We haven't actually shown how weapon traders work, etc, etc.
Actually, the setting of this game is rather ironic. We're in a big vacuum, and that's exactly where you are when you start playing this game. Because your time just flies away.
Indeed.
Into the void.
And if you're
3
entirely
weeks later,
if you're entirely new to the series, you're better off starting with Term and Conflict, because I think Lord Cucumber too started off with X3 Reunion, and that game was well, even more complicated. Yeah, well, it was even more complicated than this. And when you started it, you had the silly main quest that just stopped abruptly. I probably did not pronounce that right, but doesn't matter. I'm tired. It's late. And you were just thrown into the darkness.
Yep.
You had no idea what you were doing. You had to find out everything. And that's why I know for most of you, when you start out with this game, you'll just install the game and reinstall it later like 7 times before you just have this eureka moment and go like, oh fuck, so that's what I have to do to make money. And that's the reason why I decided to make these tutorial vids, and I hope they are worth it. So,
well, so far it's been fun to do and fun to explain stuff. There's so much you can tell about this game.
Oh yeah,
there's so much going on. I mean, we like Bucketsmith said just now. It's very difficult to actually say, well, now we've explained all the basics, because there's so much depth to the game. It's very difficult to say that.
Yeah.
You can do so many things, and there are so many things you can't do that you're going to be surprised how the game handles things. It's fun.
Definitely is. It's definitely one of those games that once you've mastered the basics, and well, it's just ironic saying basics in this game, but once you've reached that level where you're comfortable playing and you don't feel like uninstalling it the very next day, well, there's just so much to find out, and we don't want to spoil everything, but we will be discussing a couple of things.
We won't be able to.
No, indeed, we won't have enough time.
I mean, that would mean recording for 3 weeks, man.
Yes. So,
because we've in this video, in this, what is it, 2-3 hours, we've actually skipped a period of play that will probably cover about 2 to 3 weeks before you get from the point where you start as a humble trader to getting an actual complex or a station running, because you have to gather so many resources and monies and do so many things before you get there. It's fun, it's all fun along the way, but it takes a lot of time. So if you don't have much time, I do not recommend this game.
Indeed. And trust me, it will suck you in. So if you think, well, screw what you say, I'll just try it out anyway. And I think people watching this episode will probably have dedicated enough time into the game to be playing the game anyway.
I told you, vacuum is the right way to say it.
Yep. It's just, yeah, you get pulled in, you'll never leave. You'll keep reinstalling it until you get it.
And then you start making Let's Play videos about it.
Yeah. Well, I hope people do. I hope I'm not the only English-talking dude that does Let's Plays. There's a bunch of German ones, but...
That's funny because we've done that with other games as well. We seem to be the only English speaking people that do certain games. But well, anyway.
Yeah, didn't someone say that about your Cities in Motion
Yeah,
series?
it's the same idea.
Yeah, alright. Anyways, what I wanted to say is what I said earlier, that we didn't go into in-depth stuff yet. Well, actually, I want to leave that up to you, the viewer, the player, to find out. But if you do have questions, feel free to ask them, and I'm not sure if we're gonna dedicate another vid for the in-depth stuff behind trading, because, well, it will take a long time. We might reply with a comment or a private message and explain some shit. Alright? So, I guess we've finally reached the end of this episode.
Yeah, it will go up in certain parts, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yep. I think the recording software that I've used actually made one big file out of it, so I'm gonna need to do some slight video editing. Anyways, unless you have something to add, Lord Cucumber?
Well, not really.
Alright. Then I'm gonna call this an episode.
Do I ever?
Well, I didn't call you in
My
for
wife
this one
had
for
some
nothing.
nice to add, but let's
Yeah, that's a good one. It was a good one. Alright, thanks for watching. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Thanks.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye-bye.